The council chamber buzzed with amusement as a representative from Earth stood at the center, his voice steady despite the condescending stare surrounding him. Arlen Hayes had been chosen for this exact reason. Calm, collected, and capable of speaking truths no one wanted to hear. "We have restrained ourselves," he said, the words deliberate. "Humanity has held back for decades to keep peace. If you force our hand, you will regret it." Laughter erupted. The council's presiding member, a towering Serac with iridescent scales, leaned forward with a sneer. "Held back? Your species has barely left its homeworld. Your ships are outdated relics. Do you expect us to believe you hide some great power?" Hayes didn't flinch. "Believe what you want. We do not seek war. But if you bring it to our doorstep, you will find Earth is not as defenseless as you think." Another round of laughter followed, this time louder, echoing through the chamber. Delegates traded amused glances, as if the humans' words were some desperate bluff. To them, Earth was a backwater planet, an emerging industrial hub perhaps, but strategically insignificant. The galaxy's superpowers had fleets larger than Earth's entire population. Humanity was, in their eyes, a minor annoyance, not a threat. A thin, insectoid Karoth leaned toward its neighbor, clicking its mandibles in amusement. "They always think they're special," it whispered. "Primitive species always do." Hayes remained silent as the council's vote was called. One after another, the delegates pressed their decision for war. Resources on Earth were too valuable. Oceans filled with rare minerals, fertile lands that could sustain countless colonies. And besides, humans would fold quickly. They always did. After the final vote passed unanimously, the Serac presiding officer rose, its voice booming. "It is decided. The Galactic Coalition declares war on the Terran Confederation. We will subjugate you swiftly and mercifully." Hayes simply gathered his datapad and stepped down, his face unreadable. As he exited the chamber, one of the guards muttered, "Brave words for a doomed man." Outside, a small group of human envoys waited for him, their expressions grim. Captain Elena Vance, head of Earth's diplomatic security, spoke quietly. "They think we're weak." Hayes nodded. "Good. Let them." Far above, in orbit around the Council's neutral world, alien ships glittered like a steel ocean. Their fleets were already mobilizing, certain victory in their minds. No one noticed a faint smile tugging at Hayes' lips as he looked at the stars. "Enjoy your laughter while it lasts," he murmured. Back on Earth, encrypted transmissions spread through hidden networks, relaying a single message to every base, every fleet, every covert installation humans had carefully kept off the galactic record for decades. The time for masks was over. Humanity had played the fool long enough, and those who had mocked them were about to discover exactly what it meant for a species to survive everything their world had thrown at them, and then aim for the stars. Deep beneath the surface of Luna, a hidden command center came alive with activity. Generals, scientists, and engineers who had spent decades working in secrecy finally operated without restraint. The Terran Confederation had anticipated this day since first contact, knowing full well that the galaxy would one day try to claim Earth as spoils. Humanity had learned early that showing too much strength invited fear, and fear invited preemptive war. So they hid in plain sight, letting the galaxy believe they were clumsy upstarts fumbling with primitive ships. Encrypted files were unlocked, revealing projects that had been shielded even from Earth's own citizens. Hybrid engines capable of outmaneuvering anything the Coalition fielded. Weapons built from reverse-engineered alien tech that humanity had quietly acquired, and cyber warfare systems able to infiltrate galactic networks within seconds. Most impressive of all were the fleet's sleek black-hulled warships, hidden in asteroid belts and deep space docks. Each one built with technology that the Council would never believe humans capable of creating. General Marcus Rain stood at the center of the command room, his eyes scanning the hollow displays. "Every day we let them think we were harmless bought us another year of preparation. That deception ends tonight," he said. Elena Vance, now in uniform, stood beside him. "Do you think they'll understand what's coming?" "They won't. That's the point," Rains replied. "The Coalition believes in brute force. They've never fought an enemy like us, one who thrives in chaos, one who adapts faster than any other species they've encountered. Orders flowed across the solar system. Orbital shipyards on Mars began releasing their hidden fleets. Cloaked satellites activated, scrambling enemy sensors as they repositioned into attack formations. Deep-sea bases on Earth launched submersible platforms bristling with weapons, ready to surface at a moment's notice. For decades, humanity had studied the Coalition's war tactics, rigid, predictable, dependent on overwhelming firepower. They never expected opponents who fought asymmetrically, turning every weakness into an advantage. Humans had learned these lessons the hard way through centuries of conflict, survival, and innovation. Rains turned to the room, his voice carrying the weight of everything humanity had endured. They think we're weak because we let them think that. They've mistaken patience for fear. But tonight, we show them what happens when humanity stops pretending. Across Earth's hidden networks, the message spread. Initiate Operation Iron Veil. It was a signal everyone had been waiting for. Fleets warmed their engines, soldiers armed for battle, and hackers prepared to tear apart alien infrastructure before the first shot was even fired. In that moment, humanity stopped being prey. The galaxy just didn't know it yet. The Coalition fleet arrived at the edge of the Sol system with unmatched confidence. Hundreds of massive warships, each bristling with weapons, form a wall of firepower that dwarfed anything humanity had ever openly displayed. Alien commanders exchanged smug messages, certain the coming battle would be a swift demonstration of galactic dominance. To them, Earth's so-called defenses would crumble within hours. Their first volleys cut through space, streaks of plasma and rail-accelerated projectiles tearing toward the outer planets where they expected token resistance. Instead of panic, the Coalition fleets were met with silence. No distress calls, no desperate counterattacks. Only empty space. Then the first human response came, not as firepower, but as chaos. Coalition ships suddenly lost targeting systems. Communications jammed with false signals. Entire battle groups drifted aimlessly as their navigation controls failed. Before the aliens could react, dark shapes emerged from asteroid fields in the shadows of moons. Human warships, sleek, angular, unlike anything the galaxy had cataloged, launched a devastating ambush. Kinetic weapons tore through unshielded flanks, rail slugs bypassing conventional defenses with terrifying precision. Smaller human ships darted through the chaos like predators, each hit disabling far larger opponents. Admiral Kale Tor, the Serac fleet, barked frantic orders, his voice sharp with disbelief. These ships, they outmaneuver us. How are they doing this? But the Coalition's rigid formations only made them easier prey. Humans fought like no other species, fast, adaptive, striking from angles the Coalition never considered. While human fleets shredded the outer forces, cyber warfare teams launched the second phase. Entire sections of the Coalition's command network collapsed as viruses bypassed alien firewalls, feeding false data to their fleets. Some ships even turned on their allies, convinced by hacked systems that they were under friendly fire. By the time the Coalition realized how deep humanity's preparations ran, it was too late. Dozens of their capital ships burned in orbit of Jupiter, while others fled blindly into ambushes near Saturn's rings. For every massive alien battleship lost, humans sacrificed a far smaller vessel, always trading upward, always striking where it hurt most. General Rains watched the battle unfold from the Luna Command Center, his expression grim but resolute. This is just the beginning. Make sure the galaxy understands. Earth never fights fair. We fight to win. As the last Coalition reinforcements arrived, expecting victory, they instead found wreckage and silence. The proud fleets that had once mocked humanity's weakness were gone, their powers shattered in mere hours. The remnants of the Coalition fleet drifted in silence, their once proud warships now lifeless hulks scattered across the void. Messages of surrender poured in from surviving commanders, their arrogance replaced with disbelief and fear. Humanity had not just repelled the attack. They had dismantled the myth of galactic invincibility in a single campaign. In the council chamber where the war had been declared, the mood was unrecognizable. Gone was the laughter and smug certainty. Delegates now whispered in hushed tones as news of the defeat spread. Entire civilizations watched the broadcast in shock. seeing humans not as naive newcomers, but as a force capable of outthinking and outfighting the galaxy's mightiest fleets. Hayes returned to the chamber, no longer the ignored envoy. When the Serac presiding officer demanded to know Earth's terms, Hayes spoke with the same steady tone he had used before the war began. Humanity does not seek conquest. We will not burn your worlds or enslave your people, but you will leave us alone. You will never again mistake patience for weakness. Some delegates, desperate to salvage their pride, accused humanity of deceit, of hiding power. Hayes didn't deny it. Yes, he said simply, because you never respected restraint. You respect only power. Outside the council, other species began to reconsider everything they believed about humans. Stories spread of human fleets that had been years ahead of anything the galaxy fielded, of soldiers who fought with unmatched adaptability, of hackers who crippled entire war networks in minutes. What unsettled the galaxy most was that humanity could have done far worse. They had won decisively, yet chose not to annihilate their enemies. In hidden conversations across alien worlds, a new phrase emerged: never provoke Earth. On Luna, General Rains watched the final enemy ships withdraw from the system. Captain Vance approached him. We could push further, end their fleets forever. Rains shook his head. No, they need to know what we're capable of without us becoming the monsters they fear. Let them wonder how much worse it could be. Back on Earth, Hayes stood beneath the night sky, looking up at the stars. The galaxy now understood what humanity had always known, that survival, creativity, and sheer determination made them dangerous beyond measure. His final report to the council was short, a single line that would be quoted for centuries. If this was us holding back, imagine what we'll do when we stop.